So speaking about that, the animation certificate, animation studies certificate that the School of Art is now offering. If you want to talk a little bit about how that came about and how that's going to be starting
Yes,
this coming semester, right?
yes. Yes. So the animation certificate, the animation studies certificate, it's a um, it's a college initiative. It's not only for the from the School of Art. It's from the Talkington College of Visual and Performing Arts. So what we're doing right now is that we identify faculty in the three schools, music, theater and dance, and art, who were interested in animation studies. And we all got together and we started the certificate. So we have Stacy Jokoy from music. So she's teaching uh, music and animation.
Mm-hmm.
We have Rachel Hirschhorn and theater and dance, and she's doing voice acting. Dr. Jorgelina Orfila, she's doing art, in, animation in art. And I'm teaching a workshop that is animation making. So once the students go through the other classes, the capstone is the animation making class. And we are also going to be collaborating on in our courses, visiting, talking to the students, maybe talking about our specific interests within another class. So I'm going to be in Professor Rachel's class some point in October and talk about animation production. Um, so animation voice acting is going to be the first class for the certificate this semester. And then in the spring, the class in art and music and animation, that's going to be on the spring. And then my production class is going to be the following fall. And then it's going to continue the rotation. We're going to try to identify more professors that might be interested so we can increase the number of classes. And hopefully we'll get to a point that it becomes a program, a degree.
Yeah, no, that's great. Again, I mean, that's something that's going to really interest a lot of prospective students. So I'm excited.
Yes, I think it's something that it was necessary, and I think we've been postponing it for many years. We just needed to find the right time. I need to accept we're a little bit behind from other universities, but again, that's um, animation is not our concentration as a university. We do other things, but it's a subject that is important, and I think we need to explore it. So animation study is not just animation for the sake of making animation, is the understanding of the animation culture. That's why we have the immersion of animation in music, animation in art, and then practice classes as well.
Right. So you're completely understand from start to finish
Yeah,
how.
different perspectives,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I thought was so interesting when I was looking it over. The adding in the music component and the voice acting for animation, which I thought was interesting. I didn't think about that. That's obviously a completely separate thing than just uh, acting for stage or how to project yourself through through that manner. So that's really interesting. I'm excited to see what happens.
And in the process of exploring animation studies, which Dr. Fila and I, we've been doing now for 5 years, we discovered a lot of connections between animation and art that they're just overlooked through the history of art.
Hmm.
So those are the kind of things that we would like to emphasize as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you had mentioned before we started recording, you're teaching a class this semester, or what are you teaching this semester?
So this semester, so one of my rotations every year is web design. So we're teaching our graphic design students how to do web pages, websites, and we teach them foundations of HTML and CSS. We also talk about structure and responsive design. And they do 3 projects. And the last project this semester is their portfolio. It's an online portfolio. So to me, it's always interesting how they start exploring another aspect of creativity, which is through code, because they need to learn how to type all the snippets.
Right.
And it's a challenge. I mean, um, coming to the School of Art with mentality of art, and then suddenly you're presented with code, it's shocking. But I think we do it in a way that anyone can benefit from it. Although that class is specific for our graphic design students.
Hmm. Right. They may have already had some maybe introduction to some of that before.
Well, I know that some of them had done some similar classes in high school, but they haven't been going back to that. So in many ways, they're starting fresh. Uh, what I do in that class as well is challenge their knowledge of other programs like Illustrator and Photoshop, because at that point they've been producing projects for printing. And now we need to start thinking for web. So the adapting the images, understanding the color system, structuring correct sizes and formats, all that is important.
Right. Well, I mean, in whatever field you go into, knowing how to work a website or build a website is important. I mean, we need someone to do something like that with the college, and so I've been helping a little bit, and I see it's it's a skill I wish I would have taken a class on in college. So
Yeah, and more importantly is learning how to communicate with someone that is going to be producing the website. So if you go to a company as a graphic designer, you need to have the language to communicate with the programmers what you want to do. So I think this class helps with that. Once you understand the code, the limitations of the medium, then I think you can design better for that medium.